If the internet disappeared forever right now, you'd probably think you'd just be bored for a few hours. But you'd be wrong. Because the first thing to disappear wouldn't be the internet. It would be our ability to know what's happening. Messages stop. Payments fail. Information goes silent. And then the consequences begin spreading from one system to another. But the strangest part, the seventh event is something most people wouldn't even imagine. And number one is only the beginning. At first, everything looks normal. The lights are still on, cars are still moving, people are still going to work. Then everyone checks their phone. Nothing. No messages, no social media, no websites, no search engines. People restart their phones and check their Wi-Fi. But eventually, they realize this isn't a normal outage. The internet is gone. And suddenly, there's a terrifying problem. How do billions of people find out what actually happened when the system used to spread information has disappeared?
Network is currently unavailable.
Rumors spread.
I apologize for
People
the
guess.
inconvenience.
And fear fills the information gap. But that's only the first problem. Because eventually, people need something even more basic. Money.
No, I'm sure it's
You
just
walk
a delay.
into a
They said
store.
it would be fixed by now.
You pick up what you need. Then you reach the checkout. You tap your card. Nothing. You try again. Still nothing. Your money may still exist, but the systems connecting your account to the store may not work. Suddenly, cash becomes incredibly valuable. ATMs fill with people. Businesses start looking for offline ways to accept payments. And millions of people realize something uncomfortable. They've spent years carrying almost no physical money because they trusted an invisible network. But money isn't the only thing moving through that network. Food is too. And that's where a simple outage becomes a physical problem.
A supermarket isn't just a building full of food. It's the final stop in a massive supply chain. Orders have to be placed. Inventory has to be tracked. Trucks have to be coordinated. Warehouses have to know where everything goes. Now remove the network connecting those systems. The food doesn't disappear instantly. That's not the scary part. The scary part is what happens next. Small delays begin multiplying. A shipment arrives late. Another shipment gets delayed. A warehouse can't coordinate properly. And eventually, a communication problem becomes a physical problem. Empty shelves, long lines, panic buying. But there is one place where losing access to information can become even more serious. Hospitals. Hospitals don't suddenly stop working. Doctors still know medicine. Nurses still know what to do. But modern healthcare depends heavily on information. Patient records, lab results, medical images, communication between departments. Remove the network connecting them, and everything becomes slower and harder. A doctor may suddenly have a simple but critical question. What happened to this patient before they arrived? The problem isn't that medical knowledge disappears. It's that access to information becomes much harder. And that reveals something uncomfortable. Technology didn't replace human knowledge, it connected it. But there's something even bigger we're about to lose.
Me too.
The
It's nice to
world's
just
memory.
talk.
Think about how often you use the internet without noticing.
I think we should try
You search
this.
for an address, look up a
But
fact,
what if it doesn't work?
download a document, learn how to fix something, contact someone thousands of miles away. Now imagine all of that disappearing. Not for a day, forever. Human knowledge wouldn't vanish completely. Books would still exist, libraries would still exist, offline computers would still contain information, but instant access would disappear. Knowledge becomes local again. Someone in one city might know something, while someone hundreds of miles away has no easy way to access it. The world doesn't suddenly become ignorant, it becomes disconnected. And that changes something much deeper. The world itself starts feeling bigger.
For
lost contact
decades,
with
the
Sector 4.
internet has
I'm trying
made
to reestablish
distance
the
feel
signal.
almost
Need to update the
meaningless.
supply list.
You
This
can
is Sector
talk to
4. Do you
someone
read?
across the planet in seconds, work with people you've never met, buy products from another country, watch events happening thousands of miles away. Remove the internet, and suddenly,
me, could you explain
distance
this a little
matters
more?
again.
Certainly, it's
Your
about the
neighborhood
upcoming
becomes
community
more
garden
important.
project.
Your local businesses become more important. Face-to-face communication becomes
the
valuable
river
again.
runs parallel to this
At
road.
first, that might sound
if we
almost
follow
peaceful,
the contour lines,
but there's
we'll
a
reach the
darker
peak.
side. The farther away something is, the harder it becomes to coordinate with it. Countries become more isolated. Businesses become more local. Communities become more dependent on themselves. And eventually, billions of people face the same question. What happens if this isn't temporary?
Imagine waking up on the second morning. The internet is still gone. You wait another day. Nothing. A week passes. Still nothing. Eventually, people stop asking, when will it come back? And start asking, what are we supposed to do now? That's when humanity begins adapting. Local communication networks appear. Businesses create offline systems. Communities rely on physical
It's
records.
amazing how quickly things change.
People
isn't it?
relearn skills they once
Indeed.
depended on the
Sometimes
internet
it's
for.
good to slow down.
And slowly,
Have a nice
a
day.
new
Thank you,
normal
you too.
begins. Humanity probably wouldn't disappear.
Have you heard about the delivery?
We would adapt.
Let's hope the generator
We would
holds
rebuild.
up today.
We would find new ways to communicate. But the world we rebuild wouldn't be the same. Because once you've experienced
I'll meet you at the
instant
corner,
global
5 minutes.
connection,
Okay.
you never
See you soon.
completely forget what it felt like.
And that's the terrifying part. The internet probably wouldn't destroy civilization by disappearing. It would reveal how deeply civilization depends on connection. The internet isn't just videos, social media, or online shopping. It's an invisible system synchronizing billions of people every second. And when that synchronization disappears, the world doesn't explode. It simply becomes slower, more isolated, and much harder to understand. So the next time your internet goes down, remember, you're not just losing a connection, you're briefly seeing what the world would feel like without one.